What the fuck?
It's like croutons in a soup.
Don't turn down any opportunity, whether it's a camp, a clinic, because you never know literally who's watching.
Make your own decision and stick with them and know they're the right decisions, right? And even if they aren't right, don't regret them.
He didn't know creatine existed. So you got some creatine? He's like, oh yeah, lift heavyweight.
Shipped across the border. I shipped across the border.
Shipped across the border, man.
Welcome back to Shipped Across the Border.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Shipped Across the Border. My name's Max, here with Chris and Aiden Dunlap. Big AD. We got Big AD on the pod today. Transfer from Bard College from Maryland. Wants to be a teacher out in Baltimore. We're gonna get.
How do you know these things,
I
bro?
was just sitting with him in the caf. We were
Baltimore, I mean...
We just talking
yes,
a little bit.
Sure.
big fisherman guy, big reverse pivot, left hand skyhook guy. And yeah, we're gonna get to know him a little bit better. And yeah, we started practice this week. We got a lot of content to talk about today. So
Why Baltimore?
He just made the... Okay, I said...
Baltimore, you know, geography and shit.
I didn't ask what is Baltimore. I said, why do you want to teach?
I didn't say I wanted... He
Didn't say I wanted
just off rip was like, yeah. Because I was like...
on his name this early.
No, he said he might want to be a teacher in Baltimore.
I just said they pay more.
Yeah.
More in Baltimore?
Well, they pay like more in Baltimore City because it's like they are trying to get more teachers because like not a lot of people want to teach there.
Why is that?
Because it's like it's
rough
Baltimore City. It's,
situation?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, you have to deal with probably a lot of kids that are. You have to put up with a lot more stuff probably than like, I don't know, like suburbia.
Suburbia. That's like where Chris is from.
Well, it's the same with inner city
I am
anywhere.
from rural. That is how you would describe mine.
Rurelia?
Say that 10 times
I'm
fast.
from suburbia.
Yeah, for
Suburbia.
Chris is from
Jewish suburbia.
Rurelia.
Toronto.
Something like that.
I'm not glad you. I don't think I could ever be a teacher.
Yeah, me neither.
I've sort of like not dabbled, but like I know many people who are going to be teachers, and I've worked with children,
Yeah, me too.
and I can't do it. I respect the hell out of you for
Yeah, what
committing
about-
to that path, but like I
What
would
about
die.
education and instilling philosophy and knowledge into the youth? Is that what intrigues you about the industry? Yo. You just make more work for yourself, bro.
I think to be honest, like I really wanted to go into education after I did high school. I split between two schools. So my first 2 years of high school was my local public high school. And then I did the second 2 years at a much smaller, like private high school. Like granted, my public school was still small, but like private high school was even smaller.
Okay.
And just seeing like the opportunity that is afforded to kids in both of those situations, like I want to be able to help kids in the same way. Like when I was so the first high school was Kent County High School. Like when I was there, like I could see like they didn't have a lot of resources. Like there were a lot of kids that were like very bright and could do like really big things or like achieve and go to like higher academic colleges and stuff, but they just didn't have resources. They didn't have support. So like a lot of kids would end up just staying local or staying in the area or underachieving than really what they could do. But like at my second school, which is Gunston, where I graduated from, kids had all the resources that they really needed to succeed, and then they got to where they wanted to go. And you know, we had some kids go to a lot of higher academic schools.
What type of school is this? Gunston Academy.
Gunston Academy.
What is it? Is that Gunston Academy?
It's the Gunston School. Yeah.
Classic private school.
In Centerville, Maryland. Yeah. But I mean, it was like 250 kids for all four grades.
Similar
So
to mine.
very small.
That's super small.
Yeah.
That's pretty much similar. I went to a public school that was honestly a pretty big public school. For my first 2 years, and then my second 2 years were at a small private school, probably like around 250 kids. Very similar, like situation. I think that I was fortunate that my public school had some pretty good resources, and so a lot of people went to like get in good programs in Canada. Like it's not really very common to like go from a Canadian public school to like high academic schools in the U.S. I guess it's not really a common path, but like a lot of Western Ivy, Queens Commerce, Laurier, BVH, like very good programs. But yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. Did you have any big time like commits or people that were from your school went to like really high academic schools, Ivy League or Ivy adjacent?
I mean, we had people go from Gunston. We had people go to just as like regular students. We had a guy go to Princeton. I think that was mainly the highest one. My valedictorian my senior year went to Colby in Maine.
NESCAC,
but I mean,
right?
Colby's NESCAC, but it's like below 10% like acceptance. Like it's ridiculous.
I actually seen something like a couple of days ago. Like Colby has a top 5 athletic facility in the country for Division III schools. Yeah, which is dope.
It's a crazy school. I mean, my mom went there. That was a while ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we were back through the area like a couple years ago and like stopped through campus. He's like, this is just so different. Like the athletic facilities, like you could just see like the outside baseball field and everything. Like there's a lot of money being pumped into that. Mm-hmm. It's kind of wild.
That's why they're good.
Not to glaze, but
that's why they're good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they perform in all the sports across the NESCAC, but I mean, to even be in the NESCAC, not only do you have to be a prestigious academic institution, but like the best quality of Division III athletics too.
Yeah, for sure.
When you say they couldn't go, like they couldn't use their potential, like what exactly does that mean? Because that's kind of foreign to me. Like in Canada, where I grew up, at least, it was like you go through high school, and I went to like basically a blend of like where he went to high school.
Basically the Duke of Canada for high school. What? Shout out JDSS. John Diefenbaker. Is that what it is?
John Diefenbaker Secondary School. And I basically went to like the blend between what you're talking about in Baltimore and the blend where he went to in like inner suburbia Toronto. Like this blend in between both those. Rural Canada, rural Ontario, but like a decent enough school. And like everyone I knew went to pretty solid, like Brock University in Canada, like Queens, all that stuff. And so like the idea of not being able to go where you want to go is kind of foreign to me. So what does that mean?
Well, before you answer, public education, this system in Canada, from my understanding, is a lot, I don't want to say more funded, but just it's a better system. Like,
no, I know nothing about this.
It's a better system. Like, there isn't really, I guess the education system in Canada is completely different too. Like, there is 50 four-year schools in total across the whole country, as opposed to thousands in the U.S. And like when you apply to a school in Canada, you don't apply to like Elms and then you just pick your major. Mm-hmm. You apply to the business school, or you apply to the science school, or you apply to the arts school, and you can. So if you want to apply to like an arts program, a business program, a science program, all at the same school, you have to apply 3 times to that one school, and you might get into one and not get into 2. You might get into all 3. So it's kind of a completely different, I guess, system.
I could be very wrong, but I feel like that's how it is in like a lot of the bigger schools here. Like you do have to apply. Like if you're gonna go into like, I don't know, like physics or whatever, or business. Like I feel like when you're at a lot of the bigger universities, it's like there is like a smaller school of whatever within the broader university that you have to apply to within the U.S. anyway.
So if you, like for example, like UPenn, like one of the best business schools in the country, they have the School of Wharton School of Business. Yeah. Are you applying to UPenn, and then you get into UPenn and you go to because all of the programs at UPenn are extremely prestigious as Ivy League. So then you can just pick, like, you apply to UPenn for business, and you get in. But you can, like, switch, like, are you applying to the Wharton School of Business, and you have to apply to a different program separately at a different school?
I feel like, I don't know enough about this to, like, say for sure, but I feel like if there's certain schools that have really, like, programs that are, like, particularly full, or, like, people really want to go in there, then they kind of make it, like, more... They try to be more selective about the people that let into that program.
That makes sense.
But I think generally, I don't know.
How does that work here?
Nursing
at Elms is the same thing.
Hypothetically, you think that like I could switch into being a nursing program, but I'd have to reapply to the nursing program.
Like here?
Yeah, because this is like
I actually don't know.
Giant nursing school, and that's like our not only thing, but like our main.
I know. Well, there's like different admission requirements and like stuff you have to do to.
Yeah, like the nursing majors, they have to hold up like a 3 point. What does their GPA have to be? It's pretty ridiculous.
But yeah, it's a good program. So I don't know if like hypothetically you get into Elms, you can just go be a nurse, and be nurses and like join the nursing program.
This is why Google exists.
Or we could just have like an educated person on the podcast.
Look that up.
Also, yeah, but what does it mean to not be able to pursue what you want to pursue? Because, like I said, the idea is kind of foreign to me. So, like, explain that exactly. Like, why couldn't they pursue what they wanted to pursue?
So, I think for a lot of kids, like within the school, like if you don't have like the resources you need to really succeed, like you were going to have to do everything yourself. Like we had a kid, I think that graduated a year or two ahead of me that went to Columbia. But, and the school system was like, oh, we had a kid go to Columbia and everything. But like quite literally, he had to do every single thing.
At the public school?
This is at my public school. Had to do every single thing like by himself. Like he had to teach himself stuff because like the quality of education and like college preparedness that they're trying to get to kids is just like not the greatest. And if you really like want to make something out of it, like you have to take it into your own hands. And that's like, you have to be mature enough to understand that and do that. And there's a lot of kids that I don't feel like understand that yet or don't have the support to understand that they need to do that. So then they end up kind of not understanding where they could really go, even though they might be, you know, really gifted or talented. Like they just might not understand that they can go to that stage because that's not like an opportunity that people are pitching at them where somewhere they can go.
Explain to Chris the college application process for schools in the U.S. because it's very different than how it is in Canada. So I think that's kind of maybe where there's a confusion because the application process is also very different. Like at my school, we had, I'm sure at the Gunston school, you had a college counselor.
Yeah.
So like they would help you navigate the Common App, which you'll explain and stuff. And I feel like at a public school, those supports might not be as readily available to the general population of people. If that makes sense.
I think if I didn't have the resources of like a college counselor, shout out Mr. D'Antonio.
Shout out D'Antonio, man.
Like if I didn't have that, I would really not understand like anything to do within the college process because I would have to educate myself on how to do that, and that's a very complex process that I think.
Try and explain that to Chris.
Yeah. Okay. So like, when you are applying to different colleges and universities in the U.S., so there is the Common App, and that's like a general like set of information. So you'll fill out like you'll have your grades, obviously, like your transcripts and everything, but then you'll have side hobbies and like different activities you've done to kind of supplement and show more of what you've done, and then you have to do an essay. So the Common App is like a lot simpler. But it's like broad information. It's trying to get at like, yes, you're this as a student, but like also them trying to understand you as a person so they can know like somewhat of what they're admitting. So it's, trying to gather as much information about you in like as much of a condensed packet. And then that's general. And you just send that out to, whatever.
So if I was going to apply to Harvard, I would use that app?
Yes.
Would you use the Common App for Harvard?
So the Common App is kind of like LinkedIn. So it's like you're putting in your education, you're putting in your extracurriculars, you're putting in your documents. So instead of your resume, it's your essays, it's your letters of recommendation. And then you're going, and as if you're searching for jobs, you're going and looking up all the colleges have accounts, and you would apply. And then some schools like Harvard, like Wharton, like we were talking about before, there would be additional steps in the application process as opposed to just click apply.
So it's kind of like NCSA. Because NCSA, you have to put in your grades, you have to put in your film, you have to put in all this stuff about yourself.
So you're creating an academic profile as opposed to an athletic profile. And then, so like for example, one of the schools that I was deciding between when I was coming out of high school was a school called Lake Forest College in Chicago. And that was, I guess, deemed a pretty high academic school. And so there was like additional things that I had to do. So for example, I had an interview with a person in admissions. And there was a bunch of other things you have to write, like specific essays in addition to the general essays that you have to submit for any college. And so that's kind of what it is. And I think kind of what Aiden was saying is that you don't necessarily know the requirements for these schools or even like what your like portfolio as a student or like your package as a student and as with your extracurriculars what that can give you opportunities in if you don't like do your research kind of yourself, or you don't even know like what are the good business schools, what are the good communication schools, what are the good science schools, unless you have someone like Aiden was saying, who Mr. D'Antonio, shout out Mr. D'Antonio, that is his name. Who can help show you what's out there for you in your interests, or you do your own research. Otherwise, you probably just default to what's around you because that's what's familiar to, and you don't have that that perspective of like the big picture of like where you fit into the whole system and what you can what opportunities are available to you.
I mean, on top of that, like not just from an academic perspective, like from an athletic perspective too, like there are plenty of kids that like I played with or like I've seen that if they had the resources and like understand more of the process, like
talk about, and what do you mean by that to our audience of people who
What do
don't
you
have
mean
the
by
access who don't have the access
So, I mean,
that you did at the Gunston school.
I think as far as like, I really, really wanted to play college basketball. Like that was like my big goal. Like I'm going to make it to play college basketball. Like there was not a doubt in my mind I was going to try to make that happen. And so like I tried to use different tools. Like I did have NCSA, which, you know, it did get some clicks and whatnot, but like there are easier ways to do that. And then like I ended up really getting the most use out of Twitter, believe it or not. Like
Yeah, for sure.
Twitter is an insane college basketball resource.
100%.
The Twitter college basketball community is also insane. But like knowing that those resources are out there, like you can be like, oh yeah, like it's simple. But like there's a lot of people that don't understand anything about the recruiting process, and like you need to understand like how to use those tools and like how to kind of push what you need to push to get in front of the right people to see you.
I'm going to try and bring you a little bit further and a little bit deeper into the conversation, because I know there's a lot of people that could really benefit from this that don't have. Like I was fortunate enough that my college basketball, we had an academic advisor who was a college counselor, and we had an athletics college counselor as well. And my high school basketball coach was the school's athletic college counselor. So we put a lot of people to play post-secondary sports from our school just because we had that information readily available and someone to help facilitate that. But I'm going to try and pick your brain a little bit more on that, because I think it can really help some people. Like, what exactly goes into that? What are you putting on Twitter? How is your outreach looking? Like, what are the important things in the recruitment process when you're not a athletic freak, 6'10", 6'9", super tall, super athletic, where D1 schools are knocking on your door? If you're not one of those type of builds, like, you're closer to that than I am. Or like Chris was. No. But so what does that mean? What are you doing?
I mean, at the end of the day, the main thing is you really have to. You can't wait for people to come and knock on the door for you. You have to be the one that is going on knocking on doors. And if you have to go and knock on 500 doors and you get one response, like that's still successful. And that's more realistic to what it's going to be than expecting like you're going to reach out to one person, you're going to get an offer, and then that's your story. But I mean, for my Twitter, like I had my film up there, I had, GPA contacts, and then it was just a process of trying to connect with the right people. That there's plenty of people who make it a point of trying to get a mass following, of following coaches and getting coaches to follow you back, and just looking up different schools, finding the coaching staff, following the coaching staff, and then posting your film and trying to get them to see that, and so on and so forth. And like continuing that process on and on. But really just trying to make your stuff everywhere on your profile, or like push it through any outlet you really can. I mean, doing as much as you can and trying to push it outward is going to get you the most chances of getting seen, and in turn the most chances of being successful.
How did you initially get Bard's attention? Was that from Twitter, or did you send them a direct email?
Think it was from Twitter, because the first time I actually heard from them was I was on a visit for Gettysburg College.
Yep. They're actually, that's where our assistant coach from Medaille is now working at Gettysburg.
Yeah.
Coach Long.
Coach, cannot say I know him.
I think he started there last year.
Yeah,
so it was an after
their head coach just left, actually. He's at MIT now.
As a head coach or an assistant?
Yeah, he's a head coach now. So he's the head coach at MIT.
Gettysburg is
really good. Yeah, their head coach BJ Dunlap.
They had some controversy at that school.
Really?
Yeah, we'll talk about it off camera. They had some crazy shit.
That's insane.
Is that the thing with chess and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about that after.
Yeah, but I heard from Bard originally when I was on a visit with them, and it was just a text message outreach from the assistant coach at the time.
So you want to visit at Gettysburg?
I was on a visit to Gettysburg. I got a text. I was sitting at a restaurant after the visit with my dad eating, and I got a text from Bard, and it was like, "Hi, this is Coach blah, blah, blah." And it was the current assistant coach at the time, who was still my assistant coach. I'm not going to drop names, but he reached out to me. The head coach, who was my head coach, still hadn't been hired yet. They had a vacancy in the head coaching position. So the assistant coach was essentially the only one in the basketball sphere for that time. And the head coach really didn't get hired until a lot closer to the season, like into the summer. So, that went, and I didn't hear from them for a while. And then I got on a phone call with the assistant coach at some point, talked to him about that, then got to talk with the head coach, so on and so forth. They looked at my stuff, and then I was like, I'm going to go take a visit. I had already taken a bunch of visits, but...
How do you think they got your number? From Twitter?
It was on my Twitter. Like, it's in my bio, and obviously, like, I get a lot of spam from random, like, whatever, through my email and through my phone number, but, like, having it on there is, like...
Did you send any emails, or it was mainly through Twitter?
I sent emails. I sent DMs on Twitter.
Yeah,
I would DM coaches on
that's
Twitter.
What you mean by knocking on doors. It's like it's not just like casting a web and just putting stuff. It's like actively like you cast a web and then you're bringing the web and your package of everything that you to the, I guess, destination that you are hoping to play at.
You're actively like, I sent a lot of DMs to coaches on Twitter, and that was a lot of how the outreach I got. And I don't know, I ended up talking with a lot of different schools from that and visiting a bunch of different schools. And it was a very weird process because I feel like when a lot of guys go on visits, they end up coming back and they have an offer, right? But I visited, I don't know, like 5.
Do you think at the D3 level too?
At the D3 level? I feel like still, like if they're having you come to visit, I feel like a lot of times that sometimes guys will get an offer or some more sign of interest. I feel like a lot of times I come on visits and they'd be like, okay, well, here's what the process goes forward, and it's still like a lengthy process.
Yeah. I guess it depends on where you go.
Were you vetting these schools, or you just didn't care? You're like, I'm going to reach out to every single school. I don't care as long as they want me to play basketball there. I'm willing to go.
I think I did do that, but then just to try to get as many opportunities on the table. But like obviously I was trying to be more selective because I did have like
Gettysburg is a great school. Bard's a great
school.
school.
Like I was a very academically focused kid in high school. Like I had like a 3.96 finishing high school. Like I was very locked in on trying to do as well as I could because it was always like I understood that academics can take me places like alongside basketball. So I was trying to do that and like trying to find a good fit in both ways. So vetting schools, but like also I'm reaching out to whoever and whenever, like random school in, I don't know, like Iowa or whatever. I'm like, am I going to go there? Probably not, but I'm still going to give it a shot. So
also, yeah, you build up your like if you, this is even like for the audience of people who are going through the recruiting process now, but if you, and think of it like a job, like I'm creating a lot of parallels to like the job hunt because I'm like looking for a full-time position for when I graduate, and obviously it's really early, but the top, like for example, like the top schools, they recruit early the same way as the top companies, like they recruit early because like that's the kind of culture that it is. Like in the successful and with excellence, like just early bird gets the worm, you feel me? Anyways, kind of lost what I was gonna say. I'm about to try and pick
job market parallels to basketball, parallels to sending a lot of DMs, parallels to.
Dude, I just bricked. I'm not gonna lie. I had a very good point.
Holy airball!
Yeah, I had a very good. Oh, wait, no, never mind. It was on the tip of my tongue. I lost it again.
We'll come back. We'll come back to him.
You can come back to me.
Let's go back to the basketball beginnings, like high school-ish kind of area.
Sure.
Where did you start playing basketball really, really early? Did you start in high school? Did you start in middle school? When did you start?
I started playing like I picked up a basketball really between like 7th and 8th grade, like that summer.
Late.
Like that was when I picked up a basketball and was like, this is something like I really enjoy doing and I'm just going to play. And I didn't have an actual full season of basketball until my sophomore year of high school.
Why?
I mean, COVID. That was a big reason, but like also I wasn't
young.
I just had to process that because I was in grade 11, 12.
Yeah, like I had 3 years of high school basketball.
Yeah, I had 2.
Yeah,
but one of them wasn't for COVID. But okay.
Yeah.
So you were in 9th grade when COVID hit.
Yeah. So my a lot of my freshman year was just online. Mm-hmm. So I was sitting on the couch doing classes
and dribbling basketball.
Should have been. Should have been. That would have been helpful.
You were lazy during COVID?
No, actually, I wasn't. The goal was during COVID, I had so much time. I was like, my goal was kind of going to be, even before COVID, like 8th grade, I was online too. So it was like the goal was I wanted to dunk before my freshman year.
Okay.
So I was in my garage. My dad we had this wooden box, and my dad was like, you're just going to jump on this box. You're going to do, he made like a whole plyo circuit for me. I was doing this Tabata timer thing. Like I was doing in full like vert dunk mode with what I had, you know, during COVID. Like I'm in the garage and then I'm out front on the hoop in the driveway, like just trying to dunk, and I got it. And so then I was like really not necessarily like skilled at basketball and had no experience, but like I could dunk. So I was so happy. I was like that one kid when you're at an AAU tournament and you're like, oh shit, he's dunking.
You're like fresh in your lot.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
This kid's terrible, but
Sure.
he's kind of athletic.
Sure.
Now Alon's a dog, but
Dog with the elbows.
Yeah, I mean, it was like hours of me just being in, it was a hoop and then the road, and I would just be spending hours like in the road just shooting, like, or dunking or doing whatever and playing out, you know, imaginary scenarios like every kid does in their head, like, oh, it's like 5 seconds on the clock.
This guy randomly walking across the street, he might be the coach of Duke.
That is such an insane phenomenon because
of course, bro, everybody thinks that.
there was like a loop that would come around at the end of my road, and so people would just be
coach would come
driving around, and I would see these different cars come by, and there was actually one time where some dudes stopped and they were at the corner and they just were there for like 5 minutes and they were just
won a league. We made him.
they were just watching me play. It was so wild.
And then left. Did they say anything to
It's
you?
either really creepy or it's a good opportunity.
No, because it was like they were watching me play and then they ended up driving by and they're like, oh, you actually like can play, like, because I played in like the local rec league and like a lot of people from like the community would come watch kids play in like rec ball. And so I'd come in rec ball and I think I scored 2 points the whole season. They're like, this big white kid is like doing nothing. And so I'm in my driveway, I'm like shooting the piss out of the ball and they're like, oh wow, he can actually like play. So like I struggled so much growing up playing basketball, like figuring out how to translate what I would do like by myself into games. And like it wasn't until probably like going into sophomore year that switch started to flip, where I started to understand like how to control more of the mental part of the game, because I feel like there was so much like anxiety in my head trying to play that like held me back from where I really could go.
What do you think were like some big things that helped make that transition, help flip that switch?
I mean, just really staying consistent on the path. Like I was just trying to do as much as I could to try to like play as much as I could. And you know, like confidence comes through experience and confidence comes through reps. And so the more I was doing, like I would try every opportunity I could really get to like go to the park and play people, or like go to the rec center and play people, or just try to play as much basketball as I really could against whoever, whenever. And that was, I think, really helpful. Because I both kind of figured out how to work through that process of being in my head too much, but then also because like I really had to learn how to play like really kind of physical and a little scrappy to kind of stay in there. And that helped me a lot, because having a little more grit is always like really helpful. So trying to develop like it's really hard to be able to just like pick up, oh yeah, like I'm gonna have this grit now. But like if that's like how part of like you learn playing the game, then like it really kind of just sticks there and is something that's present like as you keep going.
Do you think part of the reason why you struggled with taking stuff and putting it into games is because you started kind of late? Because I kind of started the same path as you. I didn't start playing until like 7th or 8th grade, and I had the same thing.
I mean, what was the question again?
Do you think the reason that you struggled having this translation thing where you could play by yourself and you could hoop, but then when you got into games, you couldn't really make it translate? Do you think part of the reason of that was because you started later than most kids?
I think it's possible. I did have, like, it's weird because I was like 5'11" at that point. And so I was bigger than all these kids. And so the other part was like the big man skill set in that point of basketball is like you literally just are supposed to be able to only stand there, catch the ball, make a layup. So it's like I didn't get a lot of like the focus wasn't super like in the games like, oh, we're gonna try to develop this kid skill wise within like the rec leagues and stuff, which is like okay. But then I mean that was probably a big struggle. It was like I'm getting pigeonholed. I'm like, oh, I'm a big guy. Like I'm just supposed to be able to make a layup, and then that's like not a lot of skills and everything, and then that's a struggle because if I miss a layup, I get like one opportunity, I miss a layup, and then I'm in my head more. So I was very thankful. I was playing at my rec center, and this was like a big step. I was playing in the rec center, and my now high school coach, Dante White, he found me. I was just like playing, and he found me. He's like, "Do you want to come play on this team?" Like I had never, up till that point, like I never played on an actual basketball team. Like I was just like rec center warrior, like outside court warrior. Like I would just go and play, and like I wasn't good at all, but like I wanted to play. And he was just like, "You're very driven to like want to play. Like we're gonna try to get you where you want to go." And so I went and I played with him, and we were this kind of like random gathering of a bunch of local kids that went to some different like little basketball tournaments and leagues and stuff like in Delaware, and we would hop in the back of my assistant coach's like old like 1990 Chevy Suburban, and they'd fit like 10 kids in the back of this thing, and we'd drive to like inner city Wilmington, Delaware, and then we'd like play on an outdoor court, and that would be like what we do. And it was an interesting experience for me, like not to like be super weird, but like I was quite literally like the only white kid that would really ever be there. So it was like there was also a target on my back because I'm like this big, like I'm a big ass like white kid, and I'm the only one there, and everyone was like, "Man, I'm not gonna let this dude score." So like, it was a little different of an experience, but like he was very instrumental in like helping me develop and like providing me resources and teaching me early on. Like I never really learned basics of that. Like I had to watch videos and was watching people play. And
I love basketball TV.
I think so. But I would watch like at the time. I think it was actually that like Raptors championship team. And I was watching Marc Gasol play because I was like, I'm going to be a big man.
That makes sense.
And so I was like,
I can see your NBA comp as 38-year-old Marc Gasol. He was nice.
As an old man.
He was, but
he was a bucket that series. He was
super skilled, super high IQ.
Yeah.
Huge drop off though after that year.
Oh yeah,
like right after that Raptors.
He gave it all he had.
He's done.
He emptied the tank.
He's done. The tank is empty.
Yeah, he emptied the tank.
Tank is empty.
Shout out Marc Gasol.
But I would watch him when I'd watch the NBA, and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna watch the big guy at my position. Like I wasn't big, but I was thinking I was going to be a lot bigger than I was, and like it would have been a lot more useful if I had tried to start developing more kind of guard skills early on. But I was so like all my coaches are like, oh, you need to be a big guy. You need to be a big guy. So I'm like getting pigeonholed into being a big guy, trying to learn from other big guys, and then I'm not developing like the greatest skill set that I really feel like I could.
Do you have any advice to give younger guys who maybe are the only person about 6 foot on their JV team, so the coach makes them play center, but realistically they're going to end up being a guard, or like 99% of basketball players are going to end up being guards, but maybe their situation they're in, they're playing big, like, and so they might not be developing those skills. What piece of advice do you have to those guys in those situations?
I feel like you need to focus more on doing what you can to develop that role outside of the actual games. Like, if you're not getting the reps you need, like, in a game, you're like, I understand, like, I'm not going to be 6'8", 6'9", so I need to learn guard skills. Like, everybody needs to learn guard skills, even if you're 6'8", 6'9" now. So, like, if you're getting pigeonholed like that, you need to find ways to really take it into your own hands. Like, if you have that maturity to understand, like, I need to get to this point younger, like, that's going to help a lot. And so, like understanding that when you go play pickup, like try to play a different role, like try new things, like pickup really at the end of the day, like doesn't matter all that much. So if you can use it as a tool to help you develop and like build new skills, that's helpful. And then just really like stay in the gym. Like that is the biggest reason why I feel like I'm here right now. I'm playing college basketball is because I stayed in the gym. Like I worked relentlessly to really try to develop where I got. Like I wasn't gifted. I was very raw. Like I didn't have a great skill set. Like, but I was willing to get in the gym and put in the work to really try to do as much as I could on my own to get where I wanted to go. Like I'm controlling what I can control. I'm not going to be like, oh, someone isn't making this happen for me, so I can't make it happen. Like, I'm just going to go do what I can and shoot a bajillion jumpers on my outside rim or whatever I need to do, whenever time of year it was.
It's definitely tough because, like, as an AAU coach, you're incentivized to win. So if you have this giant white kid, it's like, I could develop him as a guard, or I could use him to my advantage and put him in the center role, and we could win more games. Because they're not exactly incentivized to make you a better player because they're going to have you for like 2 years and then you're going to be gone anyway, which is tough because like a lot of kids probably don't have access to that kind of stuff. Because I didn't even get like a really good coach until I was probably 19. Yeah, like I didn't play AAU basketball until I was 19. So like, it's definitely tough.
I think AAU as a system is really kind of flawed in that way because like the focus with travel ball, I feel like, especially once you get into high school, is more so like getting you recruited for the next stage. Like it's an expo. Yeah. Now, especially. But there's like coaches want to win really bad. And like obviously kids want to win. And like
I think it's basketball, not just AAU, but
it's
like
great
basketball in general.
Yeah. But like I think it's different. Like college basketball, like high school basketball, like that is literally like it matters to win a lot more than I feel like AAU does. Like who cares that you won like Sunshine Beach Cup 2025? Like nobody cares. But if you lose every game and all the kids on your team like find a way to work their way into college, like you are successful. Like you are more successful, and that's going to be more memorable than winning one championship and all the kids like going back home and sitting on the couch and being bums.
I think there's just a lack of development in youth basketball. Like the priority is like playing as many games as possible and showcasing these kids who honestly probably don't have much to even showcase, but that's kind of what it is. They're showcases for like class of 2038 now. It's like you have fourth graders now playing against fourth graders in front of, I don't want to say college coaches, but in front of like people who are deemed like recruiters or whatever. And it's like you said, like there's not that opportunity for development. Like if everybody was developing guard skills from an early age, then the level of talent and skill, like that's what you see in Europe. You have a big guy. They're all doing skill development. Doesn't matter what size, what position, or kind of what age. Like everyone's doing skill development. That's why you see guys like Jokic, big guys like Marc Gasol, who are super skilled and are able to just like translate that skill into the games. And when they come over to North America, just hoop and be instrumental parts of teams because they have those tangible skills that they've been working on since they were a kid, because that's what their system is focused on, is skill development, as opposed to here it's like exposure. But like often a lot of the kids don't have anything to expose.
It's also a lot more selective. Like an AAU team, if you have money realistically and you're not completely dog shit, like you can play for any team. Versus like college, they're literally buying into you as a player and a person. So like,
but college is different because you can't really. It's not youth basketball anymore. Like college is not youth basketball.
No, but like the year before that, you're 19 years old. You're getting recruited onto this team, and like as long as you have money, you're not terrible. I'm going to put you on my team because you're going to pay my bills.
But versus not like in college.
No, that's what I'm saying. In college basketball, it's like I'm buying into you as a person, I'm buying into you as a player, and I'm holding on to you ideally for the next 4 years. So like I'm tied to you, and I have to turn you into the best player you could possibly be, and more ideally the best person you could possibly be.
But there's not as much development, I feel like, in college basketball in terms of skill, because especially at Division III level, like we only have 2 hours, and so those 2 hours are going towards team stuff. And so, for example, if coach works with you one-on-one, or any of the coaches work with you one-on-one, it's going to be specifically to help you develop skills that will be helpful to the team.
In the system.
So, for example, like Sam, coach is helping, like last year spent a lot of time working with Sam on his touch and on his footwork in the paint, right? It's not really helping him develop guard skills, but that is what we needed from Sam last year, was to be able to properly box out and footwork around the paint and post, and obviously like that's evident because he came back this year, and I'm sure he worked out over the summer, and he looks a lot more comfortable in those movements in the low post and a lot more calm, and his touches developed a lot. That being said, though, he has also become a better shooter and a better ball handler, and all of that has been on his own accord of going to and working on those types of things. So I feel like in college basketball, like in any more level, it's like like you have to win. Like this level is the coach's livelihood is based on if we win games or we don't win games. So that's why it's mostly for the team. But in high school, I feel like it doesn't have to be like that. Or AAU, it doesn't have to be like that. There should be more of a focus on skill development, because then you would have guys who are more polished going into and have more opportunities to play at the next level.
Mm-hmm. Outside of basketball, outside of everything else, you're going to be an education major, but like, what are your hobbies? What do you do? I know you fish. I know you...
Big country.
Going fishing today. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, where at?
Yeah. I don't know yet. I mean, I might go. I usually go to the Chicopee River, and there is absolutely nothing there that is like very large. Everything is like so small. It's almost like I'm like micro fishing.
Didn't you fish a bullfrog last week?
That was actually like when I almost got here, and that was so wild because I was out at this place, Van Horn Pond, or like whatever.
I actually might have walked there once. How far is that from me?
I don't know. It was like 5-minute drive.
I think I might have gone.
You might have. It's pretty nice. It's pretty. It's calm. But I couldn't catch. I caught one fish, and so I was like, "All right, I'm gonna try something. It's gonna be stupid." And I had these plastic worms, and I had it on a hook. And so when you like do it up and down, the size of the worm like bounce up and down, and it's like the action is like pretty attractive to fish and stuff. So this big honking bullfrog is sitting in the water, and I'm like, imagine how funny it would be if this dude just like munches this worm. So I like slide it out to dude, and I'm like, is he gonna take it? And then he just like locks onto it. He's like, it's like a heat-seeking missile. He's like, oh, I'm gonna go absolutely annihilate this thing. And they all start coming. There's like 3-4 frogs converging on this like stupid plastic worm in the water, and this big one just like annihilates it. And he just gets like snagged in the. So I'm like, yo, I just caught this massive bullfrog on a fishing rod.
I'm gonna eat it tonight over the barbecue.
I could. If
Do
I
you
was
ever
more
bring back a fish and like, or maybe not
to
here,
here?
maybe not here, but at home?
At home, yeah. At home a lot. We do a lot of like, I'll fish fry a lot at home. And I learned from my dad this summer a lot how to like properly like fillet and get the meat off of a fish.
Flying is so hard, by the way. Growing up with people
Dude,
like
I want
my
to do
dad
that
was huge
so
into that.
badly. If
Fillet
I,
a fish?
No, I just want to like move to a nice remote island and just fish when I retire. And just catch seafood.
That's the
takes
dream.
That's the dream.
I fished very few times. I've definitely fished like multiple times, but not that many. But so I wouldn't even say that. But I would love to learn, and not just fish, like catch like seafood, like crab, shrimp, and just like have a whole elaborate system of, and then just cook them and just seafood boil them up.
It takes a long time to get like really good at filleting fish and like doing that stuff. Like I grew up with a kid. His nickname was Fish Guts, Fish Brains, one of those two. And
What a name.
bro, you could catch that guy. Every single spare second he had in life was spent out trying to catch fish. But like, watching him fillet a fish was so impressive. It was like just so quick, so
you
efficient.
catch these fish and you throw them back. Like here.
Yeah, here I do.
What is the attractiveness? It's just like relaxing for you, or is there? Like what do you like about
I
it?
really dominate small animals.
Wow. Christopher Beam has taught me. I think I enjoy being outside a whole lot. It's really nice to just be able to sit by the river. And then I think I did like a lot of fishing growing up, and like big into like environmental science. I did an environmental science program my senior year. So I love being outside, and I think I also really think it's a cool opportunity to like, I like looking at like the different fish I catch and everything. And like, it's almost like when you go to aquarium, you're like, oh, look at this one. Like this one's so cool. It's got like this color and stuff. And that's cool. I mean, it's also like, it's pretty fun to just like catch a monster, and it's like you feel like the rod's being like ripped out of your hands. But obviously that's not happening on the Chicopee River.
Have you ever been fishing in any cool places?
I have not necessarily fishing, but my family, we've been to the Caribbean a few times. And we were in South Caicos, in Turks and Caicos, and we went snorkeling, and there's these like lobsters that they're called slipper lobsters, and they will just like crawl in like the reef and stuff. And so we're snorkeling, and I just dove down and I just grabbed this thing, and we ended up catching like 2 of them, but they're literally just like,
you eat it?
Yeah, you eat it. It's like a lobster. It's just
That's
a lobster.
sick.
But it's like
that's the dream.
It's like a bug though. It's like
you
insane.
getting absolutely clipped with the clippers.
Well, this one it doesn't have actually like. It's kind of funny because
with your bare hands.
The main lobsters have claws.
He's a caveman.
Thanks. This is coming from the rural Canadian.
He's actually a caveman. You guys and Drew, the Hillbilly trio.
But the main lobsters have claws. Like a lot of lobsters have claws. There's spiny lobsters and there's like slipper lobsters in the Caribbean, and they have different defense mechanisms where like the spiny lobsters have more like they're just absolutely covered in spikes. So like if you're grabbing one of those, like you need a glove because obviously like it's gonna break skin. But like the slipper lobsters, they're just really good at like nestling up in the rocks and like hiding themselves. So
They surely have claws though, no?
I think they might have little claws, but it's nothing like it's not like the main like giant like gonna crush you. So I mean I just grabbed it, and the whole tail's a muscle, so it's trying to like fight against me and stuff. But we brought it home, like
That's sick.
cooked it.
Dude, that's like there's this guy on TikTok that he'll go to these. You know what I'm talking
You
about?
showed me this last year. You said this is the dream.
He goes to like random places and he'll like bare hand catch like these super
It's fire.
fluorescent colored lobsters or shrimp or these fish, and then he'll fillet the fish, throw it on the barbecue, season it, and eat it, and that's the dream.
I've
to
seen
make
it.
enough money to get my own island and retire in the middle of the Caribbean
Getting a little sketchy there.
and just. You make so much work for yourself.
Now, you ever been crayfish hunting?
I caught one the other day.
But like just like ever like a bunch of them and just throw them in like a boil?
I feel like
That's
that's only a
Jack.
big. Yeah, that might be Jack.
Louisiana.
You can't. I think in Louisiana they get like a lot bigger.
Yeah.
The ones like the river crayfish, like here and like kind of the northeast, like south, they're a lot bigger because they're like in the mud and the swamps and stuff. But up here, they're a lot smaller, and you wouldn't really want to eat them.
Yeah, like I did this with a friend. I think it might have even been Fish Brands. We went and we caught a bunch of crayfish and we just used them as bait. But like I hated that so much because I got pinched like 19,000 times.
Yeah, my brother and I went earlier this summer, and we caught a whole bunch of them to put in the fish tank at home. And that's actually really sick because they're so cool to like watch, like wander around and stuff. They don't get them off because the fish aren't big enough yet. But that would be sick if I had like a huge bass right in the tank.
Do you have like a really big fish tank at home?
We have 2 fish tanks in the basement. One is like, it's probably like the length of this table.
Okay.
But then it's like this high. It's decently big, but we've had some stuff that we put in the smaller tank, and they got too big, and we had to put them in there. And then the goal is eventually like to finish digging this pond in the backyard.
Like a live well?
I mean, kind of.
You've done that before? Like
What?
Just catch a bunch of fish and just throw it into a live well?
Yeah, but then you take the fish from the live well and you put them on a hook, and then you drop them on the side.
My buddy did that for like, it's not really loud, but like he took a lot of fish that he would catch and just threw them in this tiny little dugout thing that he made and would just like occasionally come back and use them as bait, or he would just like feed them stuff and then eventually eat them. It's a little messed up, but it's funny.
Not a live well at the house, because these are just goldfish. Like, and they're just fat. They're just like absolutely fat, disgusting like slobs of goldfish that just eat everything. And yeah,
You know what's actually dope too? That that's also part of the same dream. There used to be a house in my neighborhood that used to like in their windowsill had this fish tank and there was like these blue LED lights at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
So when it was like dark, you drive by and the window would be open with this blue fluorescent like LED lights shining on all the fish, and it was sick.
That's kind of fire, yeah.
And it was in the windowsill, and that's also I want to have one of those.
I'm not gonna lie to you. You have a weird obsession with sea-related creatures, and I'm doing dead ass. I hate the water.
And an island.
It scares the shit out of me.
And an island in the
I've
Caribbean.
seen too many
that's the
videos
goal.
of is it Corey Peterson, whoever the dude is, like gets like bit by random animals.
Coyote
and stuff.
Peterson?
Coyote
Yeah,
Peterson.
yeah, yeah.
The one where he was showing like the spines in the back of that thing that like it's a rockfish and like it has poison in its spines. If you step on it, it just
Yeah,
like
like-
shoots
the
poison into your foot.
stonefish. Yeah, like
bro, I'm not doing that.
toadfish.
I'm not
Yeah,
going
I
in the
don't wanna
water
do
if
that
that's
either.
there.
No,
I'm not going near that.
That's actually insane, and they're so cool because their camouflage is like, it's like insane evolution. Like you just look like a rock. Like
Yeah, I don't want that. I want just like.
I want the cool fish.
Actually, having that in my fish tank, that's kind of clout.
That would be sick.
Yeah, you get some
What do
clout
you
for that.
mean?
That can't be allowed.
But I don't-
Definitely can't be allowed.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would you ever eat pufferfish?
I feel like you're baiting me because I know that they're poisonous.
They are poisonous, but there's a
But
spot in
there is
Japan
a-
that is
where
a
you
really
can't eat
skilled chef, and you have to do like years of training to cut it properly and like take out the poison sac and stuff. But they'll serve it to people. But there's still like a 1 in I don't know how what chance, but many people die a year in Japan from eating pufferfish.
Pufferfish.
Because you're basically
Probably not.
doing Russian roulette. But apparently it tastes great.
I would eat shark fin soup though.
I wouldn't.
Why?
I don't know. I don't feel like.
endangered.
They might be. I don't really know, but I would try it one time.
I don't know. It's so wasteful. It's such a wasteful practice. You're just cutting the fins off of this like giant animal and like.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't like
We're gonna
make a habit of it.
throw
I would
the
just eat
rest
one
of it
time.
away. Yeah,
I would just eat it one
I
time
don't know.
just to try it. You know,
I don't know.
The fins are already cut off, right? Like the fins are already cut off, so I may as well just try it one time.
You ever consider being like a conservation officer?
I have. I mean, I have thought about
Or like an
more-
environmental lawyer. That'd be dope.
That's too much.
much.
I don't think I could do that because that's so much pressure to be like.
You're dealing with big problems. Conservation officer, someone catches too many fish, you just find them. But like environmental lawyer, you're dealing with serious
That's
issues.
actually, but
yeah, but you
being,
make more dough.
being
as
like
environmental
a
lawyer.
being like a conservation
brain's
officer, like a DNR guy, like that's actually like a kind of crazy job because there's some like, especially like if you're out west, like if you're over here and it's a more populated area, like it's not as crazy. But if you're like out west and you're like in the back country, like there was a show Joe Pickett, which was about that I enjoyed, but it was like he was like a game warden, right? And he's like out in the back country, and you come across dudes who are like poaching elk,
Like
but
snapping
there's
chicken necks and stuff.
sure.
Get this.
Shout out Chris.
Come get, environmental warriors. Come get this.
completely illegal, by the
Come
way.
get this
There
guy.
was no legality fucking revolving.
But you're out in the middle of nowhere in the mountains,
Yeah.
and if you come across somebody who's doing something,
You have
what
to
do you,
confront
you're gonna hand them a fine? But like if it's
do
so
you do?
dangerous
Push them off
because
the mountain. Like
well, it's so dangerous because they could just flip and just like kill you,
Sure.
and you're out in the middle of nowhere, like
no,
you're just disappeared. Like they're gonna find you maybe, but like that's such a dangerous job because of that. Like there's so much risk with just dealing with people who are already doing something like.
Oh, we've
probably
had so many
highly
run-ins
illegal.
where I'm from in the small town in rural Ontario, like infinite run-ins with the game warden.
Yeah,
so
it-
many
it's
times.
crazy.
Wait, the game
It's
warden?
crazy.
The game warden,
What does that even mean?
it's the cop for
what it's-
fish, deer, and everything else.
Yeah.
So, like, there's laws.
Game or game?
Game.
The gain warden.
The games warden.
It's the dude at the gym. He's like, "You're not getting pumped enough."
You're not doing that optimally. That's actually me. I
Coach Joe.
am the gain
Coach
warden.
Joe. He's
No,
the game warden.
we've had because like by the way, I come from a very small town where people get very, very, very drunk and go out and hunt and do dumb things, and some people just want to get more animals than they're allowed to get. So like I probably can't incriminate my own father and many other people, but what I will say,
Well, you just did.
What I will say, yeah, but there's no specifics. That's not going to hold up in a court of law. But basically, one story I can tell is we went up ice fishing, which my father's been going to since he was like 12 years old. Like just
Oh, the infamous ice fishing
out
story.
like 7-hour drive. I live in rural.
This has happened before.
I live in rural Ontario. We do
Yeah.
a 7-hour drive deeper into rural Ontario, like way up in the north, and you show
basically
up there.
Nunavut.
Literally,
if you know what that
and
is.
you show up, bro.
No idea.
I've driven to where the roads stop being roads. That's how far up you get to a point in Canada. There is no more roads.
That's sick.
It's just
though.
snow.
It's just snow. And we go in there, we drive down this back road. It takes like 3 hours to get to camp, hop on the snowmobiles, grab all of your stuff attach it to a sled and drag it back, and we just fish for a week. It's so fun.
That's fire.
But we hopped, so we're out in the middle of nowhere, and there's always like these little tiny lakes that get discovered like every year. Like you go talk to the natives, and they're like tell you about this story about a giant fish they caught off in like this lake. You have to break the snowmobile down these trails and just like find crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And so we went to this super back lake, and we were killing the fish. Like we caught way more than our limit, like pounds and pounds more fish than our limit. And this game warden flew around the corner. And we had like 5 more rods out than you're supposed to have out and stuff. And like we knew we were screwed. And so he came up and he was talking to us and stuff. And we had like buried fish in the snow. And like the dog was there. And things were getting really sketchy. We thought we were going to get fined a lot of money. And he started talking to us. He picked up all the poles. And somehow my best friend's dad at the time managed to talk us out of it. He was like, we got the poles for Christmas. Like, hey man, we're just out here for a little family get together and all this stuff. And he's talking to this guy for like an hour. And he let us go. And he just drove off into the distance. But like, they're out there, man. They do their thing.
Hunting.
They're out there looking for people in the middle of nowhere.
For that week?
Oh yeah, dude, we caught so many fish. It's a good time. But that's like the only kind of fishing I can do. Like I can't.
Is
really,
ice fishing?
yeah, because you just sit there and the fish just hits the ice and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Have you seen there's dudes who like put cameras down like and then they watch like the fish like around their lure under the ice?
I think if I went fishing and then made my own seafood boil, that would actually complete my life. Like I would just be like, that's all I want.
It's gonna be a very one-dimensional seafood boil, just bass on bass on bass on bass.
No, I get some, that's what I'm saying. It's got to be in my island in the Caribbean, where there's a lot of seafood.
Team trip to New Orleans and we can get Jack.
Hell yeah, I want to go. Jack told
me.
me that I should come back with him at some point.
That's what he told me. He's
Hell
like,
yeah.
yo, we should get into. I'm like, I want to get in New Orleans.
I would love to go and get
I want
some.
to get in New Orleans so
some
bad.
crawfish.
Some crawl dad. Hey, dude, we're gonna get the 500-pound of crawfish, dude.
Do you enjoy yourself even if you're not catching fish?
Sometimes, like, I don't know. It varies depending on where I'm at. Because sometimes I'll get actually pissed off. I'll be like, yo, this is so stupid. I just wasted time to come sit out here and nothing is biting. But it's also, like, really, really pretty a lot of the times. Like, I feel like when you're fishing the water, it's just a really pretty spot to be at. And, like, you just enjoy yourself being outside. But then you don't catch anything. You're like, I'm going to, like, kick a hole in, like, something. Or, like, drive.
Hopefully not a fish.
Drive into the river.
Definitely not a fish. They were not biting today.
No.
You ever fish with Dan?
No. I did. We actually went out
Recently.
this past week. Yeah.
Really?
We might go again soon. I was trying to get him to go.
He was trying to explain to me the difference between like your fishing and his fishing, but I didn't really understand.
My fishing and his
You
fishing.
fly fish and he regularly fishes or what?
No. He has a bait caster and I have a spinning reel. And so it's the different types of reel. And it's just like bait casters, like, in my opinion, it's like kind of impractical, but it's more fun. But it's like, it's easier to screw up.
Did any of you guys use real worms?
No, I've been using all artificial lures. Because if I go out like once a week, what's the point of like buying a thing of worms that's like $4 and then they die and then I'm like,
If you were real
Keep them in
tryhard,
the
you would wait for it to rain out here in Elms, and then I'd catch you in the quad just like pulling them.
I've actually done that before. I was working at my grandparents and I was like about to go home and I had a pole in the back of the truck I was driving and I was like, I'm going to go out to this wood pile. And I just got as many like random bugs and worms and stuff and put them in a Tupperware. And then I went out to the spot I normally go to at home and I was just ripping. Like I was just absolutely slaying some forehead. Like it was absolutely mean. It was crazy.
Yeah. Welcome to rural.
Yeah,
Rural
this is so
times,
foreign
bro.
to me, bro. This guy, like, he's trying to beat the hillbilly allegations.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
You're not beating the hillbilly allegations.
No, it's too
Picking
late
up
now.
bugs and worms.
You got me now.
Legit sounds like my childhood, bro.
Yeah. No, that's
We got
the
you
way to
some
live,
friends
bro.
this year.
By the way, I want you to know, like, I am the least hillbilly out of the people that I grew up with. Your head would spin.
Yeah, bro,
If
it's
you
like-
met some of the people that I grew up with.
Even like when I stayed at Andrew's for oh fuck, I'm stuck on the side thing. When I stayed at Andrew's for Thanksgiving, and I mean he lives on a farm over here. He lives like in Hadley, 30 minutes away, which is like farm town.
Yeah.
Like his family has like grown up on this bison farm, and he's a taxidermy bison hanging in his living room.
That's insane. That's so cool.
Yeah, and it was dope. And I'm hanging out with all his friends, and they're all like, a lot of them either work on their parents' farms or like his buddy is doing like loans and insurance for farmers out in New Hampshire. and his parents own the dairy farm that Drew works at, and then it's all just like a completely different like culture than I'm used to. But I feel like the biggest story that like defines that is we're hanging out in Drew's backyard, and he has like a hot tub on his back deck, and the dog is just like running around, and Drew has like a pretty good amount of land, and dude, if that and like you're just like it's nighttime, I'm like, bro, where's the dog's name is Pango. I'm like, dog, Drew, where's Pango? He's like, I don't know, he's probably running around somewhere, like he'll come back. And like to me, like living in a city, like if my dog steps out of my house, like the whole neighborhood's out there like running around trying to get it back. And like it's just a completely different culture of
See, Drew's parents have learned it to dogs. My parents just did it with me. Just leave and they're like, where's Chris? No, he's probably in the woods somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, literally. But like, so this dog's like running around, and like they're like the nearest street's probably like an acre away. But like, I mean, you can get to the street, and like there could be a car that comes by. Like that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, here's
because
the thing.
I live in way closer proximity to like major roads and things.
Yeah.
Oh, you're worried about the cars.
Drew was like, nah, like he'll get scared and he'll come back. And yeah, he got scared and he came back. And it's just like super culture shock because like there's no dogs that walk around without a leash in a suburb.
Here's the thing. Here's what happens in the country, right? You have a dog. It has a bunch of puppies. You end up giving them to a bunch of people near you, and then they have that dog, and the dog gets to roam free. If the dog doesn't come back, it was a dumb dog to begin with, and and then that dog gets reeded out of existence, and then you get the next batch, and those ones learn to come home. And that's how it goes.
The only thing, so what's it called? Survival of the fittest.
Yes.
There's there are some cats in my neighborhood though. Like and this was honestly like crazy to me the first time I ever learned about this. But like an outside cat.
Yeah.
There's like indoor cats that like chill on your pillow and shit in the litter box, and there's outdoor cats that like come home to eat once in a while and they just like wander around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Those I have a couple families in my neighborhood have a couple outdoor cats.
Not a fan of outdoor cats.
And that was even to me, like living in a city, like that was like, how do you know they're gonna come back? Like I just the whole concept of that is was strange to me. But like dogs are like the most domesticated animal. So like that seeing Drew's dog being an outdoor dog, like, that was like this is very different. Very different. I was like getting anxious because this dog was roaming around in the dark and could get hit by a car. But I guess that's standard practice in the country.
We lost when we first had our dog. We had we didn't have a fence, so like bro could just like leave because it was like a chicken wire like fence that we had established, so like we could kind of like keep the dog in. Bro jumped over it, ran into the woods, went into the swamp, like got all muddy. We chased after the dog for like 2 hours in the woods, couldn't catch bro, and we're like, okay, well we're just gonna have to wait and see if he comes back. Bro came back at 9:00. I think dude left at like 1 in the afternoon, came back at 9, and they just find their way home. Like
do you live in an area where like every house has a lot of land?
Like, I live in a neighborhood, but like we back up to the woods, and then there's like a creek in there. And
my street backs onto the woods too.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a city woods where it's like one strip of trees.
Yeah.
It's like
my street backs onto the woods too.
Yeah, but
it just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, it's
all
like
it's
like
behind my house.
Yeah.
It's a city woods, not a woods.
Yeah.
Like there's like street on one side, street on the other side, street here.
It's like a buffer,
here, and it's like and you just like it's like a protected area, I guess, because the trees that are left must be protected.
I am the Lorax.
I was about to say I am the Lorax, and I speak for the
Lorax.
Those trees are speaking fucking Vietnamese.
And the trees are speaking fucking Vietnamese.
Yeah.
I was actually about to say that.
love that.
I actually would love for you to communicate with some people I grew up with, just to see like the level of the way they see the world is so fundamentally different than how you see it. Like, the biggest flex that you could have where I grew up was how much acreage you had, how big your farm was. Like you go to school and these kids like, oh, how big is your farm? Like,
that makes sense.
300 acre. And he's like,
nah,
I got a couple thousand. And he's like, yeah, my parents got a beard that's like 10,000. It's like, Jesus Christ, that kid's
that makes sense though, because acres and land correlate with money. Like the more that's value.
It is status, but it's also it's sort of like a way of measuring how good of a farmer you are.
I guess, yeah. But like if someone told me they had okay, so this is actually another way, kind of like reverse of, like I was shocked by Drew's culture, but then I was hanging out with the guy who does loan insurance. Me, him, Drew. His name is Zeno, and he He actually went to Cobleskill. He actually went to our game and he played against Cobleskill. Because
This guy plays basketball?
No.
Oh, he was just there chilling.
Well, they have a really good like agricultural whatever program. He ended up now he's doing like loans and insurance for farmers. Anyways, so we were talking about like real estate and like how he was asking me like how like if there's like land like this in like Toronto or whatever, and I was explaining to him like because we were talking about rent because he's paying like rent in New Hampshire because he's like a full time working everything like that. Obviously not living at home because his family lives out in Hadley with the dairy farm. And he was like, yeah, so like how much land does like a house like in your area have like just like a couple like only like a couple acres? And I was like, dude,
100 feet.
I was like, dude, you know how much money an acre would be? Bro. I'm like, he's like, no, so how much? Like 1 acre? I'm like,
Try like I paid $10,000 a month for a closet.
he's like half an acre? I'm like, dude, maybe a what, 1/10 of an acre?
I wouldn't know.
And he's like, there's no way. So like there's just houses like beside each other?
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah.
Try not just beside on top of each other too.
Under each other. And he like couldn't process the fact that like his first thing was like houses close together. Oh, it's only like 5-10 acres in between.
Yeah.
No. And then we worked from 5-10 acres to like 1/10 of an acre. He was just like his brain just couldn't understand that because like where Drew lives and in their town, it's like acres and acres and acres in between houses because every family has and lives on a farm. And it was just like it was hilarious. Like, and I was trying to show him like how much a house would be in our neighborhood because the like Canadian housing market's like ridiculously fucked. Like especially like in Toronto and near the major cities, it's like ridiculous. It's like LA. It's ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the housing market in Canada is ridiculous. But so I was talking about that, and he was like, I would show him a house. He'd be like, "How much do you think this house is worth?" And he'd be like, "I don't know, maybe like that's a nice house, like 450,000." I'm like, "Try 3.5 million."
That's actually rent.
Yeah, that's rent per month. Try 3.5 million. But like he was just like, and obviously like I mean I live in the area, and so I'm driving by, seeing for sale signs for things, and like I just like it's just how it is like. I know that I'm never going to be able to afford to live in that neighborhood, and I know that my parents got the house that we live in 20 years ago for a 1/10 of the value, but it is not just the market's gotten so fucking crazy over the last little bit. But it was just like, yeah, just he couldn't process it. And like Drew, I feel like I've had those conversations with Drew too. And Drew's also like I don't know. I mean, I wasn't going to say that, but I was saying more of like well-traveled, like experienced other areas. Like he's been to different places with his family, but he also went to school in Oklahoma, and he went to all these different places. I feel like this might be like mad stereotypical. Like people who live in like more rural areas tend to like not travel to more suburban areas or other areas, and they like for example Drew's dad, they call him 413 Fred, which is the area code of Hadley because like, he never wants to go to anywhere else. And so like they went to like Florida to the beach and like he stayed in the car. It's like
Yo, the radio here is fire.
He just stayed in the car. Like he doesn't like, and I feel like maybe I'm associating that with. And I mean, you're from a farm and you want to go and live
I am
on.
Such a rare commodity, bro.
Everybody
I grew up with.
Is that stereotypical or is that like I mean, listen, every stereotype comes from a little bit of truth, but is that like I'm drawn from some?
Dude, there's a guy that lives like down the road from me. He hasn't left his house in 20 years.
Yeah,
like,
so people who come from like rural areas tend to be less adventurous in terms of going and experiencing new places, and so I feel like Drew, I don't know if this is like the people who he's around probably aren't as well traveled and experienced in different places as he is. And so he probably would have a better grasp on. Also, like he goes to school in Chicopee, which is close to Springfield. Springfield's a big city, so he's seen places where houses are close together. Yeah. But like someone who grew up in that town, like I don't know, Cobleskill is in rural New York. I mean, it was mad dark when we drove there at Madai. Or no, that was not Madai. That was our first year here, so I didn't really see what the infrastructure was like. But I can't assume it was super urban. But yeah.
Yeah, you don't realize how weird it is that you grow up until you leave. It's like I didn't realize that I grew up in a place like this is super unique until I ended up in Buffalo, New York, and I was like, oh, people don't show up to graduation here in tractors. Like that didn't happen. Bro, I'm being so dead ass. I'm being so dead ass. We had it at my middle school graduation. 4 kids brought the tractor from down the road, drove it to graduation with their parents in the seats, and they just drove it there, parked it on the lawn of the middle school, and we all went in and had graduation. They came out, took pictures with the tractor, and then went home.
Okay, but for example, too, like you don't have.
You don't believe me or you do?
No, I do believe you. We had a kid get picked up from middle school on horseback.
On horseback?
We had I'm so serious.
He went to school with a Mennonite?
He was what?
You went to school with a Mennonite?
I know. His
Amish?
family just like lived on a farm. And then another time, his dad picked him up on horseback one time. He got picked up in a combine another time.
What's a
And then
combine?
one time, it's like a farm equipment thing.
You know what a combine is?
No.
A combine?
Yes.
The only combine I know is the NBA.
Jamie, pull that up. Jamie, pull that up.
How do you not know what a combine is?
It's like it's
biggest
you know the
possible piece
thing
of
with the
machinery.
big rotating. It's like a big tractor looking thing, and it's got a rotating harvester.
What
on
I'm
the
about to
front.
say is not going to help you at all, but I'm going to find it funny to find your reaction. It's how you harvest wheat.
I thought, I don't know. Combine PDF?
Why do you have that locked into the thing already? Combine farm. Images. You've never seen a combine.
Oh, I have definitely. Okay.
And then he
How the hell? That's street legal?
I don't.
Yeah, as long as you don't have the thing, as long as you know the rotor on
People,
it.
I would get stuck behind tractors all the time at home. Like I would be late. I had to
Do you
drive
see-
half an hour to school, and I would get stuck behind a tractor on the
Yeah,
way.
you want to talk about traffic? Here it's like, oh my God, there's so many cars in front of me. At home, it's like, oh my God, this guy's he's getting his wheat done for like harvesting his wheat, and I'm
Yeah.
stuck behind him and I can't get to practice.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, so my girlfriend spends a lot of the summer at this house on the lake, so I go with her a bunch. And on the way there or back, it's like in this like rural area,
Yeah.
as it is as you go north of the city. And there are people sometimes from the community who like travel on horseback or like horse and buggy, and we think it's like
That's the other thing. He got picked up in a horse and buggy carriage with 2 horses.
Yeah,
and
like
his
that's-
whole family was in the
that's
fucking
the
carriage.
But that's
and they
is that
get
like
picked up in them.
not like that's pretty common where you live? Not common, but like
stuck
you
by
know,
horse and buggy?
This was like a very rarity.
Oh,
like
yeah, this is-
like
Oh, no,
crazy.
This is super common, right?
yeah,
This
like
is
that
not
was
Lancaster,
super-
Pennsylvania.
Dude,
That was
this
so
is how common this is. This is a terrible story, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. I had this buddy Willie that I've known for like a long time. I've been friends with him for like 14 years. He works for an electrician company, and one of the dudes he works with got a brand new Dodge
We're on an
Ram.
hour 10 already?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
One of the dudes he has a brand new Dodge Ram truck, and he put a train horn in it. So like, and he got like I don't know what he did with like the tires and stuff, but it's like super quiet. So he'll go up behind you and then just like hammer on the horn, and people just jump and stuff.
Gas.
This dude Willie would drive with him to work a few times, and he was driving to work and he got stuck behind a horse and buggy, and the dude went right behind them and just hammered on the horn. And he used to do this all the time. He found it so funny. And then the horses just go crazy and they run off into the ditch and the thing crashes. That's how common it was. Like we see Mennonites everywhere.
Yeah, that's like, yeah. Every time we see a horse and buggy, it's like
Dude,
the crazy. We can take a picture.
if
Like,
you
I know someone who's dating a Mennonite right now.
what is actually? What exactly is a Mennonite?
It's-
People who reject the idea of modern technology. So
Well,
they can't
that's
use
Amish people.
It's both Mennonites and Amish, same thing. So like I grew up with a girl
the
who was
same
Mennonite,
thing?
and it's partially the same thing. I think Amish is a different word
Mennonites
for it. but
also, but they drive cars and stuff.
they
too.
can. So that's modern Mennonites. There's people who adhere to like modern Mennonitism and people who
Imagine like the non-modern Mennonites and like these fucking
these
fake-
guys.
Hey, you
guys are
posers, you
dude,
got cars and shit.
It's kinda like being-
civilized.
You guys have technology, God.
cars.
that's
and
not
internet,
that's not
the
fair.
thingamadoodles and the wheelie wops.
Yes, but like imagine
You guys are fucking posers.
you've never seen a Mennonite in like a Ferrari just like fly by.
Wheelie
In a
wop.
Ferrari.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
Mennonite in a Ferrari.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Wait,
Dude.
they have Ferraris or they?
This is how common Mennonites are in my area. The people who work for construction companies are actively getting mad because Mennonites can go and do the job better than any construction company can do. They can charge half the
This
rate
is
because
true.
nobody's paying. They're not
This
paying an
is
hourly
true.
rate, and they just take all the money and fund it back into the
I don't
middle.
understand.
This is
Why
so
are they
true.
not-
Huh?
Or are they not paying an hourly rate?
Because Amish people don't get paid for the work they do. They get paid a wholesale price for the entire project, and then it
This
just
is
goes right
true.
back into the center of the Mennonite community,
Oh,
and,
it's
then, and then it gets
community.
disputed into
it's
the
like
rest of the
communism.
community. Exactly.
Yeah, my buddy's dad at home, he wanted to build a separate like house, and he was like, "Okay, so how am I going to get this labor? Amish people." And bro, and they work they put up the whole thing and
They work relentless.
Amish people got
Yes,
grit.
They
bro.
work harder, they work faster, and they get it's tenth.
And
the
he
price.
was like- and there was like a
they're
kid-
undercutting all of these construction
Yeah,
companies.
and he was like, there was like this swole
what do they
kid
get out of
like
it?
moving wood.
they get the money that they got for the project, and then it gets funneled back into the community, and then it pays for their living expenses. Like
So
you
it's
don't.
actually like communism.
Yes. It's a communal thing.
It's
Like the
the
money
perfect
gets distributed. I
economic
think
system.
how it works, based on conversations I've had.
Get this guy.
I didn't even hear what he said.
the perfect economic system.
Today we're interviewing Karl Marx, actually.
Get this guy.
Basically, I think how it works based on conversations I've had is that it's a communal system. So let's say that like you had 5 fleets of Amish people that went out and did jobs for farmers and local
Fleet
people.
of Amish people.
Yes.
I can't even fathom that.
Yes, and so-
I never met an Amish person before.
Oh, bro, that's
We gotta take you to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and then you're gonna.
Like,
that's
This
where
is so foreign to
Dante Wilcott's from.
No, it's
No, Lancaster Depew.
And that's Ryan
Merce.
Merce. Not Don Taylor is from PA, but he's not from
Lancaster,
from Erie.
dude.
But basically, how it works is this is from conversations I've had. Is the money gets taken for all these projects. So let's say you did $50,000 to build a barn somewhere, and it gets funneled back into the community, and the church distributes that throughout.
How do they eat? There's like
It's just like you go to dinner that night, and then the food's just there.
and
It's
there's
communal.
like someone in charge of cooking. It's like dining hall. It's like dining hall.
Yes, but it's like imagine a super tight knit village where everyone has a role, and it's like, okay, today I'm a construction worker, so I go build things and I come back, and then the people who are
In charge of
chefs go and they make the food, and it's just like it works communally. No one has a salary; they just live off of the
And they live
communal
on-
thing. That's how I think
Where
it
do
works.
they live?
Where do they live?
Yeah.
In an Amish community.
There's no like real estate. It's like you just
Well, from that perspective too, it's like all of the money that's getting funneled back in is like it just grows. And so, like, as an Amish community of, let's say, like 50 people, you could end up owning a crap ton of land because it just stays in the family.
Yeah.
That's super interesting. Before, I don't know how much longer we can go for. We literally have not touched on anything of substance. We
The
just
first 20 minutes was
This is great,
substance.
though.
The first 20
I
minutes
agree.
was substance.
But I want to know what the transfer portal process was like. Back to
Let's
Back to
completely throw everything we've been
Yeah.
talking about for the past hour out the window and go back to some real ass.
no. We can keep talking about.
Oh,
Amish
no.
people.
I'm good talking about Amish people. I don't even want to answer
Can we
this
not?
question.
Let's take this off.
This is getting cut out. What the fuck?
Okay, no segue. We'll get back to the. We can kind of see where it goes, but I just want to touch on this before I forget about it.
Yeah,
And
the portal.
yeah. Talk about the portal. Talk about how you ended up Elms. Kind of what was attractive to you, and yeah, we'll get into that.
The portal is a scary place, man, because when
you could start off at a high major D1 and end up in an Amish community.
it
bro.
is so yes, you literally
You could end up
could.
playing for a damn.
You could.
I ended up playing. I 1v1 DeKalb for my scholarship. I don't know what's going
Amish
on.
basketball league.
What's
like,
the Christian the Christian league?
the Christian
That
league?
Ian's the goat of.
The
League Tribal
the
College?
NCAA. Oh well, that's different. That's I've never heard like that's
We
in
just like
abysmal
Ian,
league.
our former teammate is the
All-time leading
Michael
scorer.
Jordan of the tribal
league
college.
tribal
I think
league,
I think I know this dude because he scored
He's a
what like
bucket.
1,000 in
in one season. He's a
Dropped
goat.
60 in one game.
He's a goat.
Yeah,
25% field goal percentage.
against people that
Okay, I
have
don't know
never.
if- I don't know
Probably
if that goal is.
dude, he's the goat. He's the Michael Jordan of tribal college basketball.
It's insane.
And we get to say we know him. We had him on. He's actually the best episode we ever had in terms of likes and views and media.
1.2 million views on TikTok.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Gilman has a higher.
They're all Amish, and they all went to tribal college. The whole Amish. He's actually famous in the Amish community.
Very nice.
Anyways, talk to me about
This
the portal.
guy is nice at balling, yeah. Yeah, the portal's a scary place, man. Because when you go in the portal, you really, a lot of times, you have no backup plan as far as like you can't really go back to school that you just left. I mean, a lot of times you don't want to, but like you really can't. And then you don't know like what you're really gonna get,
you.
especially like if you're someone like I had no film. Like I scored twice my freshman year. Like I had 2 buckets.
2 times more than I scored.
Me too.
There we go.
In my freshman year and sophomore year.
But I I got garbage time. Like I played like average of 1.8 minutes a game. Like most minutes I played were like 2 minutes. So, and it's not like I couldn't play. It was just like I don't know if I was entirely ready for it or whatever. But anyway, you go in the portal and like you don't know really what you're gonna get. You don't know who's gonna hit you up. You're just like, this is you just betting on yourself, and you have to bet on yourself if you're going to be in the portal and you want to be successful. And I just had to bet on myself for this one. I was like, this is the move that I feel I need to make to achieve my goals. Like, I think I really, if I go somewhere and I'm in a better position, like I really think I can do what I want to with basketball here. And it doesn't matter. Like I don't need crazy resources. I just need like a core. Like I just wanted guys that I can work with and believe in me, and a coach that believes in me. And I could care less like if I'm playing wherever. But yeah, I mean, I got in the portal almost immediately after the season ended. I'm like, I need to get out of here. And so I get in the portal and put that out on Twitter, you know, gotta go do your stuff with the AD and whatever, and go in the portal. And I got hits from all these random schools whose like playoffs are still going on. Like the NCAA tournament's still going for D3 at the time. And I was getting hits from all these like random so a whole bunch of different schools, like really small schools in the Northeast. So like, I remember, I have a list somewhere, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. But I heard from like a handful of different schools. And it was just like the same conversation. We're like, yeah, we're looking for someone, let us know if you're interested. And I ended up visiting here first. It was an hour and a half from Bard, and, you know, just hopped in the car, whipped over here, quick little hoop sesh, got a pitch tour right outside the window, and, you know, it was great, and I loved it, and I thought this was, like, somewhere where I could see myself being and really could get what I need to do done and, like, lock in and focus. And so then I was in the position of, like, I am going to have to make this decision. I wanted to make a decision before May, or, like, at May. I'm like, I'm settled. Like, I had a very small window. I didn't want to wait too long because I just wanted to hit the summer and be able to kind of roll through it and get into what I needed to do and not have to worry about, like, I don't have a home. Like, I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to go here. So then I visited another school, and...
Which school?
It was Mount Aloysius College.
In the AMCC?
Yeah. And...
Yeah, they were in the AMCC.
Not...
I know.
My dad played in the AMCC before we went to Empire.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh. That's, like, pretty far north, right?
Buffalo?
Yeah. Yeah, well, Alfred State's in there, to be fair.
Shut up.
But, you know, that wasn't the right fit for me. And that was kind of wild because I drove 5 hours all the way out there by myself.
Each way?
Yeah, each way. Out to Crescent, Pennsylvania, and there's nothing out there except for Sheetz. I love Sheetz.
with a T.
Sheetz, Sheetz.
Like the gas station?
Yes. Fire.
No,
Absolutely
P
fire
there.
food. Yeah, I visited there, and I was kind of like, I'm not going to go here. And I had already kind of in my mind, I was like, I'm already settled on going to Helms. Like, I had my application in. Common App for transfer is terrible, too.
Really?
So, yeah, the Common App for transfer is... Regular Common App out of high school is actually, like, more established. Common App for transfer is really,
I didn't do the Common App when I transferred.
And you don't have to, and a lot of times it's better if you don't because it's just so, it's like unfinished. Like I would submit applications and I would hear back from schools and it'd be like, oh, you're missing like half of the information you need. I'm like, well, my Common App's complete.
I think the best way is like working directly with admissions.
Yeah. And
You want better? I've never opened the Common App. Didn't know what it was until this podcast. Yeah.
Really?
And
Because in Canada, it's completely different.
hit up Susanna and I was like, "Yo, what's up? Let me pull up." And they were like, "All right, cool. Here's how much money you owe." And I was like, "All right, sick. I'm here."
You guys fine. Let's go.
It was a backlit alley. Me and Susanna were just talking about
Let's boogie. Let's go.
Yeah,
I'll be a blazer.
Super low.
Let's do it.
That was actually a live look into the conversation me and Chris had after Madai closed.
Well, so let's pull up to Elms. Nah, let's pull up to Wells College. Nah,
The other school that we were, the other school that we were,
Wells.
yeah, and it closed down.
Yeah.
That would have been terrible. Back to back, just like getting booed out of their home.
Boom!
Yeah.
Boom! Oh, right. Yeah, but hit that visit and it was good, and I really appreciated. This is a new, obviously, this is a new program in the way that Pish is coming in and trying to change the entire thing, and I think the big part for me was I'm trying to see who I'm going to be with, because that was a big thing for me coming out of Bard is I want to see who my team is going to be and make sure that this is a good match for me as a person and me as a lifestyle. And, I really liked everybody when I came in. I liked where everybody was at. I think one thing that actually stood out to me that I remember being a takeaway is I was playing Sam and I was being really physical and he was being physical back. And we were just kind of throwing bows a little bit. And he was afterwards, could not care. We had just gone to war for a little while and we got off and chummed it up. Nothing happened. And I'm like, okay, this is dope, because that was just not how it was. If I was too physical at dudes at Bard, I felt they would side eye me and glare at me. I'm like, you're a pussy. Why are you just play hard? And I appreciate it. Dudes just want to work. They just want to put their head down and work. They just want to put their head down and play. And that was very notable for me, and I really appreciated that. And just the culture that's trying to get developed, and especially since I've been here, I have been exactly right in like what I assumed from my visit. Like, we're coming into lifts and we're gonna fucking blow the roof off the gym. Like, the energy has been so good, like in comparison to what I experienced last year. Like, there's a real excitement of everybody when they come in and they want to work. Everybody wants to get better and everybody likes each other and wants to push each other to get better. And I love that so much as a culture. And I think that's going to be so important, especially like as we carry on through the year, looking to really make a big step here in the conference and as a program and just keep building. I mean, great young group of guys. Like, I just feel like the position we're in right now is such a great position to grow, and I'm so happy to be a part of this ship as we continue to sail forward.
That's the best Elms advertisement that's ever been said on this podcast, probably, honestly.
Really?
No, I've given some good Elms advertising.
Admissions department, pay me. Pay me.
And I
need to buy ramen, please.
No, I think it's super funny that like one of the patterns I've noticed from doing this, or even just from being in the college basketball realm, is that what happens freshman year is like you're kind of bug-eyed and like you come into a place, you have no idea what college basketball looks like, you have no idea what you kind of like and don't like. And then after that first year, depending on how it goes, almost everybody ends up having the same response. Like, I just want to go somewhere where the coach messes with me, wants to see me grow as a person, and the rest of the dudes are just cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that they care about. It's not even about basketball at that point.
And I feel so much like a veteran because of that. Like, I learned so much. Like, I really, out of high school, like, I mean, I really did have one offer out of high school. Like, it was Bard, or I think I also had a Mount Aloysius offer, but it wasn't, like, official. Like, he also wanted me to come there, but I was like, I'm going to go to, and I went to Bard. And, you know, it was a big learning year for me. Like, obviously it is for everybody, like, first year of college, like, you're living alone, like, you have to figure everything out. But, it was tough because it's like, I am extremely close with my family. And being far away, I'm still trying to navigate, like, how best to support my family. And that was a big factor, and I'm figuring that out now. And then on top of the basketball part, like, they're trying to support me through basketball. And but it was tough because it's like freshman year, like, I'm alone. My family's going through stuff at home. Like, I can't help. And then I have to figure out the portal. So, like, to a certain extent, like, I was by myself, like, trying to figure out the portal. Like, yes, I had my family there to help me, but it was really me just trying to figure it out and trying to get myself a spot somewhere where I could continue going as a student, like, as a person, as an athlete. Like, it was a little bit of a scramble and I had to figure it out, but I really just had to kind of be like, we're going to figure this out and we're going to do it. And I did. And, you know, I'm here now. I'm not back home sitting on the couch. I'm not, you know, snapping chicken necks. But
you always could be snapping chicken necks.
You could be, you know, I could pull out of college right now, tell Pish, you know what? I'm going to go up to Canada and I'm going to go snap chicken necks. I'm going to go to Chris's farm and I'm going to snap chicken necks. That is always an option on a rainy day.
I don't even know what to say then. I'm just speechless.
Yeah, the complete shift. But, like, I don't know. I'm just so thankful to be here right now. Sure. I'm so blessed to be able to have a spot to go to where I feel like I've been welcomed as a part of this program. Oh, yeah. And coming in as, like, a transfer, like, that's hard because you have to adjust to a whole new community after being somewhere for the past year. And I'm just so thankful that, like, I'm being absorbed within the team and finding my way here.
Do you match that energy?
What do you mean?
About Elms being everyone pushing each other and this year's everyone's...
Yeah, I feel like I explained that already on the pod. You don't need to hear my perspective on it. I 100% agree. I think that what we're building right now is special. I think we're in a good spot. We have a good combination of veteran leadership. We have 5 seniors, but we also have 8 underclass... we have 5 seniors and 10 underclassmen. So, like, we'll have a lot of continuity with the roster next year, same way as a lot of continuity with the roster this year. And we're going to...
Do we only have 15?
16. So we have 11.
11.
And yeah, we're gonna vote on a new captain. Hopefully, that person will
singular.
Another in addition to Adam and I. Hopefully, that person will be coming back and be able to continue the foundation of kind of what we built last year and what we're building this year into next year and kind of the years on. I think we have a ton of talent. I think we have a lot of guys with versatile, unique skill sets. I think we have a lot of guys who are disciplined and work hard and are bought in and are focused and have high energy, and I'm expecting big things from this group. But I wanted to ask you, what are you expecting? Well, I'm not expecting, because shit never goes your like exactly how you plan, but what are your goals for the team and for yourself for this coming season?
I think as a team, our goal really should be to just really not settle. Like, we can't settle and be like, we just have to keep pushing. And I think when it's like 1-0 or 0-1, I feel like that's a really great mentality for us, is we just need to try to win every day. And then that's going to push us to be as great as a team as we can be. And I think with what we have talent-wise, like the team I was on last year we were a game over 500. And like talent-wise and depth talent-wise, like this team I feel like is very rich compared to like seeing that and like how coach is willing to play that and within the system, and how guys I feel like are going to be able to understand that is really good. And so to a certain extent, I feel like we can do what we really want. And it's going to really matter once we match up against conference to see how that really is. But like, I think we can really take this far, and baseline, I feel like we really should just be aiming for playoffs, but we shouldn't be settling for that, and we should really just be going as high as we can, because I think if we're just aiming really, really high, like we're going to get somewhere at the end of the season where I think we're happy with, or at the very least somewhere where we know that we can continue to build and push forward to a high level in the next couple of years.
What about individually?
Individually,
Catch a body.
I would love to do that. I would love to just be like screaming my screaming real loud and
You can say screaming my ass off.
Screaming my ass off. I didn't know. I should have asked what the
Swearing policy
the
is?
swearing policy on ship across the border is.
You could swear, but you might get a DM from David Rudnick or Nancy Davis
No.
telling you not to swear.
It should balance out with the endorsement I just gave.
You know how like there's lines on the road and like some of them are suggestions and some of them are like don't pass. This is like a dotted yellow line. Like you can like pass if you want to, but realistically it is maybe not advised.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, but I'd love to. I mean, I am playing this season so far with my body feels pretty good most of the time. Awesome. I dealt with a lot of knee pain last year, so being able to play pain-free has been like amazing, and it's just allowing me to push myself like that much harder, that I'm not having to push through pain on top of like just playing. So that helps a lot, and I think individually I would love to just be able to make as much of an impact as possible. Like, I don't know necessarily how I'm going to fit into this because I haven't played like at all in college, and so I don't know like how it's going to work out once I hit an actual game. So I think it's kind of going as I go, but I mean, just, my goals are to hold myself accountable and just try to keep progressing. Like, I want to just be at the point where I don't slack off. Like, I feel like I would have been in a better position last year if I stayed more consistent throughout the season, not just in practices, but like trying to get more work outside of practice or trying to be more focused on rehab and school, like the whole picture. If I can stay consistent with that, that I think is going to put me in a big position, and that's a goal for me, is to really just stay as consistent as possible as I can throughout the season. Keep it pushing.
You wanna just wrap it? Do you have anything else you want to talk about, or ask the last question?
I don't know. I'm thinking about like AI and shit right now, but like I don't know.
We had a monster of a conversation about AI with Lawton yesterday.
You, Chris, and Lon?
Yes. Yeah. We were deep in some crazy philosophical,
do we want to get into that? An hour and a half.
If you want, bro, I can bring it up. I read a 165-page paper from a dude that got fired from OpenAI. I can dump whatever you want.
We could have a pretty,
Okay, you get one question.
I get one question?
One AI question?
Can I just like pose a thought process thing?
Yeah, and we'll talk about that, then we'll ask the last question.
Something that's actively been on my mind lately is when you look at the current state of AI and how fast these things are progressing and the current trajectory of how close we are to it taking literal human jobs, is I think it's becoming mildly discouraging for our generation to look at the current state of the world and be like, oh, I might not have a career in the next couple of years. And that's like leading me down the path of like, why shouldn't I just go travel and say, fuck it?
I'm going to do that anyway. I'm going to be honest. When I graduate, if I don't have an opportunity to really try to go play overseas, like I am going to buy a van and I am going to build out said van and I'm just going to drive around the U.S. for like a couple of years.
Have you ever watched the movie Into the Wild with Chris McCandless?
I need to.
You haven't watched it though?
I need to. No, I haven't.
It's a true story about a college athlete and a very well-off white dude whose dad gave him like a lot of money. He was about to go off to a really high level university, and he had basically like his whole life panned out for him.
Yeah.
And he just decides to up and burn everything. He cuts his credit cards in half. He burns his birth certificate, and he just goes and just starts wandering the earth. And his whole goal is like, I want to go and just live in Alaska and just be in it with the game and everything. And like the whole sentiment of the movie kind of is around, because he ends up basically in Alaska at the end of the movie, in way over his head, and he dies in this little tiny van that he found in Alaska that he was living in. So it's kind of like a cautionary tale and like a idealistic go live your life and be free kind of thing, but like balancing both of those. And the thing that I'm currently like seeing with society is like I genuinely can't find a good argument against the nihilistic viewpoint of like, well, why shouldn't I just say fuck it and go travel? Because like if I come back, I might not have a job anyway. Like it's a nihilistic viewpoint, but I don't have a good argument against it right now.
This is true.
I
It's
would
like we
say
could choose
that
separate
at
paths.
least you would have, like, if you at least get a job after you graduate, and like,
Who's to say there's going to be a
first of all-
job to get?
First of all, when you graduate in
The current trajectory of AI from the guy on the wrote the paper said
there will be a
2027.
job to get, dude. There will be a job to get. Even if you work putting fries in the bag, like you'll be able to do something, and at least you'll have and also like first of all, you need to have money to travel. So where are you getting?
Not
said money?
necessarily. Chris McCandless literally said that he didn't like money because money makes people cautious. Like he had thousands of dollars,
So what
gave it
would-
all to charity,
okay, so
and he would
what are
just
you
live
doing?
off of people.
So what?
He showed up, dude. He worked for a dude
Where's
in
your first move?
France to dog sit someone's dog.
Okay, and who's paying for your $1,000 plane ticket?
I could probably do that right now. Just hold on to the money I currently have.
I think once you get a starting point, like
You need some money. You need some money
yeah,
to.
the idea is like I think my idea was like if I want to travel across America, right? You can pick up across the way. Like what's stopping you from just being like
a hitchhiker?
Well, not a hitchhiker, but like if you're traveling in your own like the whole van life thing, like you settle down somewhere like for a couple months, you work like a temp job, you just gather money, and then you pick up and you go to your next spot.
Oh, I literally had a friend.
That's what I told him.
I literally had a friend, this girl that I went to high school with, and her boyfriend of like 7 years that I was also good friends with. They bought a van and they just left for like 8 months. They went down to Alberta, they went down to California, they came around, and he's like, this guy's so deep into fishing. He would just fish for food, and then she would work just like oddball jobs when they were down there, and then they would just like let off the land.
Yeah.
And it was dope. They had a great 8 months, came back, and now they're just living life.
That's like a hell of a thing to do, and I feel like that's just like a great experience, and you can learn so much about yourself doing that.
Yeah, my argument would be hypothetically, let's say you go into like be a financial advisor, right? Sure. And in 2029, full scale AGI is like taken over Western society, and it's been fully integrated into pretty much every business and everything. Mm-hmm. Slowly, the foundation of your job is being eroded from under your feet.
So
what do you do?
I wrote an essay for an interview in this exact room about that exact topic yesterday. Question was how do you think AI will affect the professional landscape in the next decade? I talked about how I think that a lot of jobs as AI advances will be AI is undeniably faster, has access to way more information,
more efficient,
way more
and
efficient.
It's going to be cheaper in a short period of time.
Exactly. So I think that in order to be successful and have a successful career in the next decade, you will have to be in a position where you can utilize AI's capabilities. And I talked about a job like being a broker, like being a consultant, where the AI I talked about how your success will be directly dependent on how good questions you can ask AI. And with the information that it gives you, a human being will need to convey to another human being. Mm-hmm. Like the jobs that'll be like a broker, like a consultant, where you are as a human being are working with another human being, human to human interaction. I will present what I have input into the AI and what it's given back to me, but a human connection and human trust that's something that AI can never replicate.
Sure.
And so jobs where it's very dependent on communication and relationships and conveying the data and statistics and everything from the AI to another human, that's where there will be a need for human labor, and that's where real money will be made, is a job where you need the trust and the relationship building, the communication to convey that. Because there's no way to. Humans are always going to trust another human more than they would trust an AI, especially if it's someone who they have a relationship with. That's what I explained.
Sure, integration is definitely a optimistic perspective to have on this whole thing, and I'm partially being like overly nihilistic for the point, but yeah, I don't know. I think because you could also make the argument that like you want to talk about human relationships within like accounting and all of these super routine jobs, like they could just go to an AI and put in the stuff that you put in.
What do you mean?
Like you said that you put these prompts into AI and it gave them back this information that you're not feeding them. You become sort of a useless middleman.
No. So, for example, like what I just did this past summer, like insurance brokerage. So, I would work with a client. They would give me a problem or what they want to be insured. I would shop it around. The broker would shop it around. Use AI, find who does what insurance at the best prices, and then I would present them the options, and then they would pick. That's what I'm talking about. It's like I am doing the presentation. It's a presentation skills. It's I have a relationship with you. You trust that I want what's best for you, and I'm going to present to you what's best is out there, and I'm upfront letting you know like what my information is coming from, using artificial intelligence to gather everything else there is out there, and now I'm the one conveying the message. And a human conveying a message to another human is more impactful than a clanker doing it.
So you're a human face to an AI doing the work for you.
Yeah, integration. Because there's no way that a human will ever be able to out-skill or out-knowledge or out-pace or out-efficient or out-cost an algorithm meant to take a spot.
So
but I can...
At what point then do you become like the humans become the tool of the AI because the AI is doing all of the knowing?
When AI gets consciousness, which hopefully never happens. But it's probably...
Like I said, as soon as AGI... we had this conversation yesterday. As soon as AGI...
As soon as an AI can recognize that.
as soon as because this is the timeline that everyone looks at, right? Like the current thing that every artificial intelligence and large language model is racing towards is AGI, which is artificial general intelligence. As soon as that happens, you can recruit hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of artificial intelligences to work on artificial intelligence that are going to be as smart as our best engineers and best people that are currently working on it that work 24/7 and don't ask for any money, and they're just going to drive it home, and you're going to have artificial superintelligence, which is what you're talking about, which is literal consciousness that is infinitely smarter than humans will ever be, and that's just where it runs
the only
wild.
one that's conscious is me, and so I know that I'm using them. So if they become conscious and they don't know that they can use me, then that's where it ends. But I don't know if that's ever going to... I think they're probably hopefully going to put in some parameters that never happens, because that way you can have integration. If there's AI that has what's it called, consciousness, then there's not possible for integration, and humans are going to be extinct because we will not be the apex predator of the world. We won't be the top of the food chain because we won't be the smartest. We won't be the only conscious. I mean, I don't want to say other things aren't conscious, but
they don't have awareness.
Awareness, like no, they definitely have awareness.
No,
so
they
that's
don't
not
have
the right
self-awareness. They don't have self-awareness. A dog is not aware that it's a dog. It can't literally represent that in language and in form when it says to itself that it has abstract thought to say, I am a dog.
Then but if another being, which is infinitely smarter and more capable than we are, like, we lose our spot in the pecking order and it's downfall of humanity.
So
hopefully that doesn't happen.
In your mind, then, does it outweigh...
Ben will travel in a van.
Yeah, sure. But does the benefit of AI outweigh the risk of that happening?
Definitely not.
No, 100%.
So then why don't we
does.
just get rid of it all?
100% does. In the minds of the people who are currently pushing this, like Sam Altman, all these people, it has to, because they've...
Yeah, for sure, in their mind, because they're nut jobs and they're super smart. And
I don't know if nut jobs is the right word, because if you had discovered the thing that they discovered, you would be on the same plane and trajectory. Because like Sam Altman's thing, as much as he talks about it in the public eye, where he like people ask him, he's like, "Oh, how do you feel about the current state of this? Like, do you think we should have more government involvement? Should we put safeguards on this?" His response is always that the free market should roam free and that he should be allowed to just push this thing forward. Because like government interaction and involvement always slows things down, which is true. Because like if you look at the development of nuclear weapons and all that stuff, like environmental groups and stuff, they always slow it down.
I also think we shouldn't have nuclear weapons. So.
Well, that happened, and this is the thing that ends up happening, right? It's like. This is what the argument that Leopold, the guy who wrote that paper, was talking about. He said that in the current state of artificial intelligence, we are years ahead of any other bureaucracy and like China and all those places. So we're years ahead of them in terms of yes, we are years ahead of them. But the thing is that the security revolving around these artificial intelligence systems are so weak compared to how they should be, because they're being ran by a San Francisco Silicon Valley company that's basically just like leaving their algorithms out for people to find. So if it's the CCP or Korea or Russia tried to wage a full-on hacking war on us right now, if they tried to wage a full-on war on us, this is what he says in the paper. If they tried to wage a war and steal all of our stuff, it could happen overnight because we would have no way of defending ourselves. And so this idea that what's going to happen with the bomb or what's going to happen with AI is what happened with the bomb, is that the American government is going to see the potential of how powerful this stuff is, which is what happened with nuclear weapons. They had someone come to them during World War II and said that this is going to happen. Germany's currently working on a bomb, and they were like, it's not that big of a threat. They realized how powerful it could be, and then they overreacted like crazy, and the Manhattan Project happened, and they took the best scientists and put all of this money towards it, and then we had a nuclear bomb. By the skin of our teeth, we barely escaped that. The same thing is going to end up happening, where if China steals these secrets and everyone's racing towards AGI, the first person that gets to AGI is going to rule the world. And it's not even going to be close.
How can we even say that we are more advanced than them when we don't even make we don't make any of the GPUs, the processing stuff, or the chips. They make them. We buy it from them. Sure, we buy the brain cells of the AI from other countries that we're competing with. So how can we even say we're more advanced than them and they can just shut us out like that?
Because I'm specifically talking about the artificial intelligence systems themselves. Like they've released their own, like DeepSeek and all that stuff. They've released their own AIs, and they are seriously primitive in comparison to Gemini, which is Google's AI, and ChatGPT. They're much further behind than us. Like they've released it to the public. Okay. It's public knowledge.
Yeah, but if they really wanted to, then they'd probably just stop selling it to us.
But
we have to make our own, and we have to spend a lot of.
Sure, they have a stronghold in certain situations. Like we have to buy Taiwanese semiconductors, which they make the products that give us GPUs. But there's actively deals. Like the Taiwanese semiconductor company is incentivized to do deals with America because that's where all their money comes from, or at least a good chunk of their money comes from. And also, the amount of money that I shouldn't say that. The amount of money that the Taiwanese semiconductor TSMC makes based on just purely AI involvement is like 2% of their actual income. So they have no incentive to like shut that down.
I don't know, man.
Holy moly!
It also feels weird to ask him the final question. We could just leave it off.
What's the final question?
What's one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
One piece of
invest in ChatGPT.
Can't even do that yet.
That would be kind of crazy. I don't know. I feel like
it feels wrong after all of the
after everything.
Usually they tie that into like basketball and like, I should have worked harder, but it feels wrong to go down that avenue after how off the river we went in this episode.
I don't know. I feel like,
but I mean, it's up to you. It's questions asked to you.
If it was going to be one singular piece, I think it would just be like you just have to trust that everything is going to work out, and
amen.
Don't be in your head and overthink everything that's happened, because at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter as much as you think it does, and where you're going to keep going once you're eventually happy somewhere, like, regretting anything isn't going to change it. And especially because if you're where you're at right now, like, all of that has happened has kind of culminated into being where you're at right now. So just kind of like trust the process of what pushes you forward, and as you keep developing as a person and whatever, and just like, just keep it pushing. As what did Jack say
on the podcast?
Yeah, he's like, just keep.
Do you actually want to make fun of Jack on the podcast?
No, I'm not making fun of Jack on the podcast. No, shout out Jack Lowe. Jack Lowe's awesome.
Shout out to Low Man.
Low Man.
Shout out Danny Harry. Shout out Jasper Calderon.
The guy that's going to take Max's spot this year, aka Jack Lowe.
Jasper Calderon and Danny Harry both have not responded to the 2v2.
Low key duck in the smoke.
Yeah, low key duck in the smoke.
As somebody who sits behind a computer screen, though, kind of expected that.
Yeah. Loser.
Your job's going to be replaced by AI.
Robo Clanker. Ooh, Robo Clanker. Robo Clanker have no jump shot.
Maximus Fancy Pants is going to default on AI to develop a better jump shot.
Yeah.
That's actually one area where I don't think AI is going to have that big of an impact.
Basketball.
In sports in general. I can't see a scenario where that does anything.
Unless it takes over coaching.
Nobody wants to watch
that was mad intellectual.
But nobody wants to see a robot face another robot. Like, nobody cares about that.
Clanker.
Yeah, no one cares.
Fucking clanker, clanker.
But that is true. That like the strategy is going to become. And by the way, that's actually gonna be crazy, because if you look at the state of chess right now, the AI that's been implemented in that, there's not a single human on the planet that can beat AI at chess.
No, because it's an algorithm.
Yeah, you're just nothing you can do.
Get shit on.
I mean, basketball could get so analytical that it could be algorithmic.
Yeah, where like every game you have a live feed to ChatGPT or something in your ear, and it's saying like run this, run this, and then so you go straight to the point guard and be like run A4, and then it's like it's over.
And then the pure sport is going to be the pure athletic feats like the Olympics, because that's just like organic athleticism, unless the AI takes
Finds a
over
way to
people.
optimize.
And yes, that's
Yeah.
what I was going to say. If it selectively breeds humans to make the perfect athlete,
There's an infinite number of possibilities for this stuff, right?
we should. Why are we talking about this much philosophical shit if we just talked about Amish people for like half an hour?
Yeah, we did.
What is going on?
Both ends of the
This is the
spectrum.
duality of man.
Duality of man is Amish people and AI. It's crazy. It's been.
It actually is a parallel.
Yeah.
Imagine if you tried to explain AI to an Amish person. It wouldn't. You can't conceive.
I mean,
of that.
I will never be in that position, but you probably could be in that
I'm
position.
not even skilled enough.
You should probably record that.
Art of language to even
should probably
try
make a
to do
podcast.
that.
Next shift across the border is we bring in an Amish person and
But
we
Theo
have
Von
them
did
try
Not-
food we
so did
can't
Nelk.
read.
By the way, I watched that podcast. It was unbearable.
Should we just keep talking, or
It was unbearable.
This is not going to.
Basically, I watched the Nelk podcast. Did you watch that podcast? But
No.
Nelk, do you even know who Nelk is?
Yeah.
Okay, Nelk.
He's Amish, bro.
Yo,
Why does that mean he knows?
if
who Nelk
we're
is?
going down the drain, and
Did
we-
you see the Nelk thing where they brought an Amish dude?
Yeah.
It's unbearable. Like they tried to talk to
I
him,
didn't
and
watch it, though.
he was so badly socialized that they would ask him a question, and he was just like clearly not.
What did they pick
I
up
listen
like
to
a guy on
Drake.
Rumspringer or something?
They found an Amish community, and they just took one dude out of there and like brought him to the strip club and like did all this stuff that you're not supposed
on
to do.
Rumspringer, is it?
I don't know.
Because that's when there's like a tradition where they like let an Amish
Guy
like,
leave.
Yeah, but like they essentially like let a guy leave the community or let somebody leave the community, and then they go get to experience like the outside world, and then they have the choice whether to leave forever or come back and live within the community
Get a
for the rest
show.
of their life. I mean, you could make it a show. You
sounds like a
could.
TV
You really
show.
could. That is a real thing that happens though, and I think it is a tradition that they're really trying to end because everyone is leaving the community because the world outside they're like, dude, like technology is cool.
Yeah, I remember the Amish dude talked about it on the podcast, and they explained like what happened after they took him to the strip club and like had him show him all these things, and they brought him back to the Amish community, and like
Dude, imagine giving an Amish person the meta glasses.
they brought him back, and he couldn't like interact with the community anymore. Like he had a full breakdown because like he had to first of all lie because he wasn't supposed to leave, but like and you're not supposed in the culture you're not supposed to see all these things like you're supposed to be true to the way. But once your eyes have been
Bro, it
opened,
sounds like the book, The Giver. You ever read the book, The
Givers?
The Giver.
Yeah.
By the way, such a sus names in those books. The Giver and the Receiver. That's crazy.
I mean, no one ever thought about it like that.
No,
but
people.
just
If
now.
you
I'm
read
the
it,
giver, Chris is the receiver.
if you read
Max
it-
is the watcher. It's okay.
if you read it, wait, what age did you read that book?
Grade 7.
So you're telling me in a class of grade 7 boys, and they said the Giver and the Receiver in the book.
No, I
Nobody
didn't.
giggled
No,
at all.
No.
Wow, you guys just had no sense of humor in your school.
I don't remember. It's been so long.
No.
It's actually a fire movie too. 'cause the
Dude, we
movie's
have to
good.
stop this episode because it's not going to upload to my computer.
Why?
It's going to take.
It's like 2 hours.
Because I have to airdrop it.
We've been talking about Amish people for fucking 2 hours,
We're going to
Chris.
continue the conversation. Thank you guys for listening. Follow us on Instagram at SATB_bod, TikTok. I mean, if we ever get that back, at Ship Across the Border. Subscribe, comment down below. Danny Harry and
Other show.
Hospital Counterloan, you fucking clankers. See you guys next week.